Welcome back to Make Way for Cat. We are on Monday, day 4. We already did our card. So we are... I guess we're back at it. Yesterday we labeled all the plants that we thought we might have. So we are going to go in. Start our customers. And scratch a kitty, of course. Scritch, scritch. The fox button was no help, I'm afraid. The sisterhood still refused to speak openly with me. Not that I have the time to pursue it properly. I'm rushed off my feet this week. There's been a body found up at the Swinside? The Swinside Stone Circle, and apparently it's a grisly one. Don't suppose you've got anything to help keep my lunch down? Fennit. We do have something we thought was fennit. Gastric distress and anxiety. Awesome. Kind of looks like a tomato. Kind of. Witch fig. Okay. So now we're gonna adjust our label here. Yellow. And add this in the lineup. EQRS. E. Okay. Oh, scritch a good kitty, yeah. Mail's here, mail's here. Verona Green handed me this for you. She seemed in a good mood. I meant to tell you this yesterday, but it slipped my mind. I discovered a plant on a recent trip to Grisdale Forest, just north of Rusland. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. I would have brought it back with me if the sisterhood had given me a moment alone, but they seem overly protective lately. Okay. So we did find Rusland yesterday. Rusland's here. Just northeast. So Grisdale Forest, I see. Just northeast of Rusland. So I'm thinking it's right here. Awesome. Mellow glow. From the moment I step off the road, I can't shake the feeling I'm being watched. Suddenly I find my way blocked by 3 women wearing green cloaks and holding short elm bows. Nobody may wander freely through the forest. By order of the Arda, says the leader of the trio. I turn to walk back, but then again I have a few tricks up my sleeve. Mellow glow. Do I have anything? No, I don't. And did I pick anything that might be? Doesn't look like it. Mellow glow. Oh no. Okay. So we have 2 spiny plants that I think could be this. So we have this guy. That smells pleasant. Sharp thorns. Turquoise flower, sharp thorns. Among other uses for this plant, the most remarkable is that it can allow a person to pass unnoticed. That's why we need it. Though not invisible, it is possible to become hidden from sight and memory. The mellow glow has sharp thorns that protect it from predators. I mean, this is literally says sharp thorns. This one doesn't even really talk about the thorns, so let's go with this one. Awesome. Abalia. Let's go ahead and label this one. Mellow glow. Invisibility. There we go. And we got... Oh, okay. This one has a little fruit on it as well. Similar to that dangerous one I picked up. Which, where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. Move that out of the way. And that's done. Okay. Faye Swift. I am afraid. The camphor you gave me is helping me sleep, and I'm very grateful for it. But the visions are as strong as ever. Woman in the jade mask appears in my dreams every night. She screams at me, but I do not know why. And behind her, that presence is always there, dark and dreadful. I don't know what to do. The dreams feel like a warning that I don't understand, a mosaic of color that refuses to come into focus. Some part of me wants to stare down the abyss, but I'm afraid. Okay, Aguria. I think we had something I thought was Aguria. You. Aguria, this is the soft blue petals, so let's go ahead. Awesome. It feels great when you identify something without knowing whether or not you have it. Worryless. Okay, so let's change the color. This is gonna go way at the front. Right. Our will to explore is back. Margaret Elsbeth. We don't come to Undermere often, but I heard about your shop and I said to Francis we simply must pay a visit. It's a wonderful breath of a life in an otherwise dreary town. I'm the green-fingered one, and it's not really his cup of tea, but I persuaded him the trip would do him good, and besides, he'll be wanting to take a boat out on the lake. Shame about this awful weather, though. You must come to Sizerg? We have a small library with some books on plants that my grandfather acquired many years ago. I'm sure they will be of interest to a horticulturist such as yourself. Sizerg Castle. Sizerg. Sizerg. Castle there. Muncaster Castle. Leaston Castle. Here it is, Sizerg Castle. I am greeted enthusiastically by Lady Elsbeth herself. She is very talkative and has many questions on horticulture that I do my best to answer as she takes me on a tour of the gardens. Oh, you must take a sample of this back with you, she exclaims, pointing at a plant that I do not recognize, but before I can stop to take a look, she has already whisked me on to the next. And this one too, she says. I'm quite exhausted by the time we make it to the library, and I don't have the time to make as thorough a study as I would like. Nevertheless, I am able to find an interesting entry that I note down. Don't forget these, Lady Elsbeth cries as I make to leave. She thrusts the plants from the gardens into my hands, and I thank her warmly. Beaver Kiss. Ooh, that might be that right there. That one's really interesting looking. Oh. Oop. Wow, our plant collection's really growing. That's done. This is pro strats. Always pet the cat after the customer comes. Philip Shaw. Mushroom. Red spores. Moves in the dark. That's all I've got. Any ideas? Let's see. Is it the Wandering View? Let's see. Yes, it's been known to cover distances up to several meters in a single night. Moves in the dark. Red spores. It does have red spores. Fingers crossed. Awesome. That was another quick one. Selena Scott. They're saying Black Comb is haunted now. Bradley Miller told me he saw the ghost of a huge deer, antlers and all, but then Bradley Miller also says he can talk to squirrels. Okay. Either way, there's something evil in them hills, and I'm not taking any chances. Awful what happened to that poor young man up at Swinside. I've come for some stinking Mount Cap. Ward spirits. Wait. Stinking Mount Cap? Why do I have Sunset Mount Cap written down? It deters unwanted souls. And it does stink. Oh, it is sometimes called Stinking Mount Cap. Okay, that's why. That's why. Great. Switch our color to yellow. And this day was short. I think I'm gonna do day 4 and 5 together. She lives alone in the castle to the northwest of the abbey. She buried her husband 3 miles to the east where the Everheart grows. At 15, her mother, strong, dependable, loving, was struck down by typhoid. The girl drew inward as her father turned to drink. Aww. Okay. So we are gonna start our day with cat scritches. And then onward to this puzzle. She lives alone in the castle to the northwest of the abbey. Northwest of the abbey, she buried her husband 3 miles to the east where the Everheart grows. Are we looking for Everheart? Are we looking for a castle? Alone in a castle to the northwest of an abbey. So here's a castle to the northwest of an abbey. Let's see if we can find any more that are like that. Castle. I'm thinking Everheart is the name of a plant. I'm not seeing another abbey. Okay, let's go with this one. Let's say she lives here. She buried her husband 3 miles to the east where the Everheart grows. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we did it. Awesome. A dead tree, its bark cracked and blackened by fire, stands alone on the hillside. Off to one side, a patch of flowers grows on a low mound. Oh, the Everheart must be the tree. Unless these are called Everheart? I don't think so. I don't see a entry for it, so... Pink flowers. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take on customers. What have you done to me? I see the woman in the jade mask everywhere. You're the one taking psychic inducing And that creature that stands over her shoulder, I almost feel like I can sense its desires. It is afraid of the sisterhood, that much is clear. It will lay waste to them. So much death, but it can be avoided with Arduino's protection. I do not know if I am awake or asleep even now. I feel the darkness tearing at my mind. Worryless. Okay. Okay. Aptly named plant, inhaling the smell of the flowers is said to help ease symptoms of anxiety. That kind of looks like it. Cream-colored flowers, they smell wonderful. These don't have the ridge that goes through the center. Pretty certain that one's winter boar. Not a flower. Those don't look like it either. Okay, I think we're gonna go with this one. What's this? Unpleasant scent. No, I think it's gonna be a pleasant scent. Fingers crossed. Oh, okay. Inhaling smoke from burning the dried leaves of this plant can provide pain relief. Firm leaves grow up the stems, leading to blue flowers. Possibly that one. Let's label... Where are my labels? Hiding. So it was this one. Worryless. And this is anxiety relief. My favorite mechanic of the whole game. Hey, the librarian. I met a strange man on the road to Sedberg not 2 days ago. Stranger still, he asked after you. He said he had something for you. Don't ask me what. So I told him where to find you, but he looked stricken when I mentioned Undermere. Said he doesn't come near towns at all if he can help it. He was headed west, at least I think he was. He said he was looking for the Winster Spring. I'll write this down for you. Alright, we're traveling. Oh, common trouse. Anyway, oh that's right, we found the common trouse for her. Did I put it in the lineup? I did. Always label your plants. Makes it so much faster. Wanted to meet you headed west from Sedberg, possibly. Okay, Sedberg. Okay. Sedberg. Near the source of the River Winster. River Winster. Oh, here. Okay. Worth a shot? The Hermit's camp is easy to find, nestled between two boulders above the spring. The cooled remains of a fire ringed by stones is the only immediate sign that anyone was here. I call out, but there is no reply. The Hermit is not here. A more thorough search of the campsite yields something interesting. Tucked off to one side, I discover some broken pieces of wood arranged on the floor. Did that work then? It's not checked off. Okay, so I guess we're gonna try this again. Near to the source. Let's try here. Oops. Headed west from Sedberg, possibly near the source of the River Winster. Oh, okay. Let's get our watering can out. Okay. I honestly have no idea where to pick from this. We did these two. Maybe try down here? Oh, yeah, let's actually use the right map. Nope. Okay. Let's skip this one for now. And take another customer. We'll try at the end of the day. Conrad Stanway. I am not long for this world, and I have decided that I want to be buried in a grave decorated with the rare and beautiful Caballia, like a Dreyer huntsman with their Dranthium-covered tombs. Okay, Caballia. Oh, that's pretty. A rare plant that is believed to help the dead find peace in the afterlife. Those who can afford it place wreaths made from it at the graves of their loved ones. Okay, Caballia flowers almost always contain 6 petals. Finding a 7-petaled flower is considered to bring good fortune. Okay, take a look at this one. This has 6. That looks pretty similar. 6 petals. That one has 5, 5, 5. We're going with this one. Awesome. Eyebright. Okay. Labeling. Where'd it go? Right here. Caballia. Or Caballia. Hope if I spelled it correctly. And this is for peace in afterlife. Pop this over here. Grimlock. Great. Alright, we have the will to explore back up. Let's take another look at this. Headed west from Sedberg. We did here, here, and... Oh no. Here, here, and here. We're maybe just straight west? No. Okay. Possibly near the source of the River Winster. We clicked on that. Maybe that was all we needed to do. But it's not checked. And we did get more will to explore. Was I supposed to look at the sticks? Let's see. No, none of those. Alright, you know what? Let's take another customer and then we'll check the will to explore again. Unknown. Oh my gosh, it's the lady in the jade mask. Just gonna back away slowly. Your reputation is growing, horticulturist. I hear you are the person to come to for plants that are difficult to acquire. My head feels like it is being torn in two lately. I'm looking for some hop heart. Hop heart. I don't think we have any figured out yet. Oh, this one. Okay, and we thought it might be this guy here. Blue flowers, stiff leaves. Oh, come back. Firm leaves grow up the stems, leading to blue flowers. Right, that looks kind of similar. Let's take a look. We don't have any other blue flowers. Right? I mean, these are, what, purple? Dark blue flowers, but they don't have stiff leaves. Let's go with this one. Ooh. What does hop heart do? Pain relief. Okay, hop heart. Okay, here we go. We have will to explore back up. I want to check this again. Oh, okay. Down 2/3. That's why we got it. Scroll down. Down 2/3. Down 2/3. I'm actually gonna write this down because we're gonna need a minute. Down to east 3. Oh. Gave us it all back again. So we are going to River Winchester from here down to 1, 2. Does this count as 3 or do we go over 3? Let's go over 3. Here we go. The camp at the Winster Spring has led me to another camp of sorts where I am greeted by an eccentric man. Oh, yes, yes, ho, 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 the man says. You must take this. Take it, take it. At his insistence, I receive the looking glass that he thrusts into my hands. He places an envelope delicately on top. Ho, ho, it's no use to me anymore. Ho, 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 no use. Don't forget the red, the red, the red, the red. Ho, ho, ebony. I am sure that he is quite mad. Ooh, we got a new looking glass? Don't know what it's for, but he said ebony? It is said that the red ebony plant has the property of uncovering that which is hidden or secret. I have perfected a device designed to use extract from the plant in concert with a viewing window in order to permit the user to see magics otherwise invisible to the naked eye. Red ebony. Okay. So we need to use red ebony? I didn't think this day would be this long. The days have been short otherwise. Do I have red ebony in here? I don't. So is there nothing we can do with this just yet? I feel like we need to... Oh! No! I didn't know it would actually... Got a couple red plants here. Alright, we thought this one might be Storian. Yeah. Although this one is showing red fruits should not be ingested. This one also has, I mean, now they're more orange. Yeah, I don't think we have this red ebony just yet. These are the only 2 red ones, and we accidentally used this one on that. So, taking another customer. Verona Green. Reuben Ward has called on my unique expertise to aid in his investigation at the Swinside Stone. Okay. Unique expertise, ha. He knows how to flatter an old woman when he wants something. I thought about telling him to suck an egg. Gave it a good long thought, actually, but my curiosity has got the better of me. He must be desperate if he's coming to me, and I'll bet they've found something juicy down there. I think this is the occult lady. Signs of ritual sacrifice, maybe. Yeah, I think she is. I could do with some witch fig to take with me. Witch fig. Plant that is said to have many uses, including easing the symptoms of infection, soaking up moisture, and detecting the presence of certain compounds. It is also well liked by butterflies. It has similar leaves to the fever kiss plant, which it is often confused with. Please tell me I have fever kiss in here. I do. Okay. It's gonna be one of these 2, isn't it? This one. Oh, this must be it, because this one has red berries. Fever Kiss has red. I'm gonna label this one Fever Kiss. And, we'll go with this. Ooh, alright, witch fig. Jacob's Worth. This is witch fig. And this has a lot of uses. This one's gonna run long. See, silly me, I should have just kept it to 1 day at a time. I am on my way to the mayor's office to file an official request that your business license be revoked. He did it. I knew it. I even said he's going to touch the wrong part of the plant. You will practice your witchcraft on the residents of Undermere no longer. What will you do for yourself? I think I have Storian. Henchuck? I don't think I have Henchuck. Okay, let's see if I have Henchuck. The fruit of the Henchuck can have startling effects on memory. Even a small dose can result in short-term memory loss, but in large amounts it has been known to cause severe amnesia. The tuberous bulb has an unusual structure, growing in bursts that give it a striped appearance. When cut open, when the outer layer hardens and turns blue-green, it is ready to harvest. This has a striped bulb, but I think we're gonna go safer with the Storian. Certain I have a Storian. Oh, I don't know. Dark red fruits should not be ingested under... Oh, no! That's right, it was the devil plant. Okay, so we want him to lose his memory or murder him. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is the one I think is the Storian. I don't want to murder him. You could take a chance that this is the other one. Dire consequences. Let's... What was it called? Henchuck. The fruit of the henchuck can have startling effects on memory. Yes, tuberous bulb has an unusual structure. Growing in bursts that give it a striped appearance. This has a striped appearance. When cut open. Oh, a striped appearance when cut open. When the outer layer hardens and turns blue-green, it is ready to harvest. It's not blue-green, though. Oh, so I do know that this game has multiple endings. Do we take a chance that this is possibly that one? That one's just blue. Orange fruits have no noticeable odor. Firm and turquoise in color. When the outer layer hardens and turns blue-green, it's ready to harvest. Maybe this is the henchuk. Oh, it says fruit. Fruit. Okay, so it couldn't be that one because it says flower. Awesome. We did it. Henchuk. And we didn't have to murder a guy. Okay. Henchuk. This does... instills amnesia. Okay. Okay, we did it. We made it to the end of the day. And that's where I'm going to end this episode. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully we don't have to murder anybody.